Good morning everyone, and welcome to Solitairica, a very difficult to pronounce yet absolutely magnificent game that I have completely fallen in love with recently. I did spend a lot of time thinking it was called something entirely else because I'd added new letters and was calling it Solitairica, which sounds like a new continent and it's pretty jazzy, but it's not quite what they've written down. Shall we drop in and have a look? Journey to Castle Stuck. Okay, so basic premise of this game. You start off by picking one of your decks. The default deck that you start with is a warrior deck, which focuses on defense and attack, blue and orange. As you go through the game, you can earn these wonderful little shiny crystals down here, which allow you to purchase other decks. And as you can see, I've purchased a couple of them, but not too many. The other thing that you can use these wonderful little coins for, well, shiny things, is to purchase some upgrades. So the warrior deck that you start out with, I have decked out with many upgrades. I've got an ace of might, I've got a queen of swords, and I've got a king of shields. I've also got a fifth instead of the standard 4 item slots. These might not sound like much, but my god do they make the game easier. So what I thought we would do is we would launch into a game with a deck that has none of these pimped out upgrades, so you can see how it looks on a basic deck, and then we could maybe, if we've got time, come back and have a look at a slightly more pimped deck afterwards. So, I've prepared for us here the wizard deck. Willpower and attack. So, purple and orange. We start off with an assortment of nice looking spells, which we can go into more detail when we get into the game, and we've got no jazzy perks. Let's go in! Not so fast! My magic deck of cards will litter your path with the armies of Stuck! Okay. So, all these cards being laid out, these are all the levels we've got to get through. Now go back home, kid, before I break your heart in two for even looking in my direction. Okay, so there's quite a few of them. The idea being, you work your way through them all, 1 to 18, until you reach the castle at the end. Woo! And our first nemesis, this is Clawfiend. Hello, you're quite a little cutie, aren't you? So the first level, in general, is not too much difficulty, because, you know, getting used to the game. I'm quite enjoying how gorgeous our cards look. Okay. Anyway, this is the basic setup of the game. Bad guy up here, me down here, both of us have a deck of cards. My super duper spells down the side. And this is the cards in the centre. So it's a bit, basically, like a standard game of solitaire, but with magical cards added. So, what I want is a card that's either one above or one below the jack I have here, of which there are none. So I will flip over to the next card. While it's his turn, he's going to do something, and he's turned all my front attack cards into defence. Boo! Okay, so I've got a 5, which is good, because now I can actually make some plays. So we can take that, and you'll see, as I either turn over, and therefore get a card of willpower or attack, or I click on a card up here, I'm gaining blobs of the energy down here. And each time I gain one of those, I acquire some of the magical skill points that allow me to use these spells. So, I've now managed to gain 3 attack, which opens up this. Damage selected front card. If it's a willpower card, double the energy rewarded. Okay, so, let's see what it does. Might as well use it on a willpower. And look at that! Magnificent. Which means we can use this one, damage a random back card. Might as well. And those are the sorts of glorious skills that our deck focuses on. We've also got this one, which is peek at the top card of your deck, which, I mean, we can use, we've got the points for it, but I don't find this one super useful. I mean, it shows me what's coming up next, but in this situation I now know it's a 6. I can't do anything about the fact it's a 6, and a 6 doesn't really benefit me. Oh look, still can't use a 6. So, anyway, what we do now is we just keep going until we have defeated him, or he has defeated us. That's basically the gist of the game. Onwards and upwards till someone wins. Hopefully, it would be us that wins. But, you know, sometimes it's the easiest levels that cause you the most dramas, especially if you're playing with a slightly more underdeveloped deck, because they can be particularly challenging. And this deck I have not pimped out in the slightest. So, you know, who knows? Anyway, we are getting there, we're getting there. We are down to one little stack of cards left. 2 more to find! But we are also on 3 hit points, so, you know, please stop attacking us. This is getting a little on the worrying side. Gosh, we're down to 1 hit point. Am I about to die to the first enemy in the game? Let's hope not. Oh, very close, but we just made it through. Cool, blimey. That would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? Record a video on a game, die on level 1, standard. Right, so we've now earned 31 of your lovely coins for defeating that level. Some levels give you a lot more coins than others, depending on what sort of cards turn up. But the nice thing is that as soon as you pass level 1, you can play in the shop. And the shop is a wonderful, wonderful place. It offers you 2 things. It offers you 1 spell of each kind that you can purchase, and it offers you 2 random items that you can also purchase, that then go and sit in your item slots. So you're allowed to have up to 6 spells active at any time, so we could go purchase a spell or 2, and it would be perfectly reasonable. But the question is, do we want to spend our 31 coins this early, when these spells all seem to cost 30? Or do we want to save them a level, and then we'd have 60, and then we could spend slightly more, you see? There's a slight amount of tactics to this. I say slight, because it's quite low. But, you know, there is some. Mostly it's luck. But there's some tactics too. Anyway, for our deck, it's mostly focusing on willpower and attack, and neither of the spells that were in the shop were particularly thrilling to me on the willpower or the attack. So I think onwards we go. Onwards to face Beard, who makes his cards beardy. I do enjoy this. So many of the bad guys in this game have like random abilities of their own that they just sort of use because why not? And the beard one particularly entertains me, the way they just grow this beard and it just hangs off the bottom of their card for a while. Beautiful. So what the beard actually does is it absorbs a damage unless it's matched. So if I was to use this spell, or any of my offensive spells on this card, it would not give me as good a result as if I matched it. If I match it, boom, fine, it still works. But yeah, there are intricacies that become more noted as you go through. So, onwards, onwards. Let's get rid of you. Oh, that's quite useful, means we can keep going. Making good progress this time. Much better than on level 1. Part of the fact of that is that sometimes it really is just the luck of the draw, isn't it? Like, if a certain card comes up and that card is better, damn straight you're gonna do better than if a card comes up and it's out of trash. Like, yeah, it's just the way it works. And this is why having those card upgrades, some of the jazzy ones that make your deck all pimped out, like the use an ace and it gives you extra health, or use a king and it gives you extra whatever. All of those kind of bits and pieces make the game so much easier. Anywho, to the shop. Oh, right. I know already, because I've played this before, but this is quite a nice little perk to get hold of. Is one of the items that increases your maximum hearts, and this one, 2 hearts for only 20 coins. It's an easy choice. I am sold. Having that, it really does make your game a bit easier. Okay, so flicking through. Some of these are good, but I'm not sure that we want to purchase one quite yet. I think let's get through this level, especially now we've got to the 12 hearts rather than the 10, and see where we go from here. Okay, so look at this. This is a card boosting level if I ever saw one. All these glorious cards with coins on them. Pretty sure I just said card boosting and I entirely meant coin boosting, but you know, sometimes words get on top of you. Okay. Lovely, lovely. Zap a few cards when and where we can. What have we got going on? One thing that our deck of spells is lacking, that I note now, is a healing spell. It would be very useful to get our hands on one of those. I know they're knocking around in the game, because I've frequently purchased them because they are so useful. But yeah, we could definitely do with getting our hands on one of those. It would make things a lot less risky. Like that time on level 1 where we ended up at 1 hit point. At least we could have topped up a little bit. Because there's definitely some Gribblies that are going to approach us in future levels that will require much more effort to take out. And we will lose a lot of hit points. Right, come on. What can we do? 7, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9, 10. Lovely. Okay, let's put some armour on. Let's zap you. We're close, we're close. He's going to donate us some extra armour. 5, 4. 2 stacks left. We are making progress. Why do you have to go to change him to that kind of card? Unacceptable. Right, so you may notice that this jazzy little thing has come up. These are very random throughout the game, it seems, as to when they actually appear. But they give you extra ones of those jazzy little magical blobs I've temporarily forgotten the name of, that give you the perks to purchasing and upgrading decks, so they're quite nice. We are down to only 4 hit points. Come on, give us something useful. 3 hit points. I need like a 10, or a queen, or a king. There's a queen. Thank you. Boom. Now we are through. And that's one of the reasons I do sometimes like to save up having an offensive spell in reserve, so that when I'm really desperate, I can take out whichever one comes up appropriately, naturally, and then, you know, zap the other one. You think escaping Fiddlehoven was a big deal? The Meadows of Madness is where the nightmare begins. Big bad threatening talk from our friend in the castle there, as we prepare to go against Gremlin Caveman. Okay. Ah, all of that I'm talking about heart and healing spells, and one shows up. It is, however, only restore 1 heart for 2, 2 magics. Should we go for it? I mean, it is 30, and it probably would help us quite a bit. Yeah, let's do it, because at least then we've got some form of healing capability for when we are truly suffering. And then in the future, if we stumble across a better spell in the shop, because they change every turn, and there's no, like, logic to what's going to come up, then we can purchase a better one. Okay, nice start there, a 6 that we cannot use. And as you've just seen, this guy's got a sort of randomization ability, which is quite irritating. Because they change! You make all this preparation and boom, it's all done, gone. Right. Okay, so at least we get 2 turns warning, as indicated there, that he's about to zap us for 4. But zapping us for 4, when we are not that strong, is quite a fearsome premise. Better try and get some of this stuff gone? Please? Anything useful? Oh god! A bear? Yeah, so I guess it is quite useful that we did go and get that healing spell. Even if it's only for 1 heart, because dang, we are gonna suffer. Right, let's just use you, see if we can't get anything a bit clearer on this board. Anybody, send us an ace. Send us something that will get rid of these 2s. Not another 2. Ah, an ace. Thank you. I mean, it was a slight progress. Slight, I say, because it was not the most achievements I've ever had, but oh, come on. We're gonna have to just keep healing, slowly but surely, but being on 4, oh, especially now he's stunned us, so we can't use our magics. Being on 4 hit points is just not gonna work for me. 3 hit points! Ah, here you go, at least we can finally get rid of a few cards. Right, okay. some armour. That's always a good thing. Let's do that, get rid of you, because that'll give us 2 of these, which means we can have a couple of extra smiley health points, which is just as well really, as he's about to wipe all of them out. Right, we'll smash that as well, just to try and get these stacks a little bit lower. I mean, we're making progress, but we're not exactly healthy, are we? Oh gosh, I don't know. If it hadn't been for that healing spell that we just purchased, we'd have been dead in a ditch, as I hear the phrase goes. We are now on a solid 1 health point, and we are stunned, and there are no moves we can make, so unless this happens to be a very fluky flip, we're doomed. We are kind of doomed. Like, really doomed at this point. Come on. A king is not what I was after. And that was that. Goodbye, us. Your heart is broken, and unfortunately your journey must end here. With each journey you become stronger. Never give up. Okay. Well, we tried, and Wildstone, that's what the word was. We gained 11 of the jazzy Wildstones. So at least we can go back now and pimp this deck out a little bit if we wish to. So yes, when drawn gives 3 energy, when drawn launches 1 arcane missile, and when drawn gives 4 energy. All of those are really going to be useful. So, you know, just pimp the deck a little bit, and then next time we play with it, it's going to be so much easier. It really, really will. Okay. But yes, for the moment, that is the wizard deck. Should we have a look at another deck? What do you think? Paladin I've played a bit with, or Warrior I've played a bit with, so we can go for Warrior. This is the basic standard deck after all. We'll load into Epic. Not so fast! My magic deck of cards will litter your path with the armies of stock. Epic is exactly the same as normal, really, except twice as long. Still here? No matter. No one will release Myriad from my gluey grip. So instead of being up against, like, was it 18 or 12? I can't remember. You have 28 now. So that's fun. You unlock Epic by completing normal mode, which is something that I've obviously done with this deck. So yeah, let's see if this plays out a little better for us, shall we? Odds are, it might. This card is pimped. Very pimped. It's quite magical. So this deck focuses on attack and defense. So you will notice that all of the cards coming up down the bottom as I flip over pages of my deck are either orange or blue, which enables me to boost up my attack and defense points much quicker, which is quite good. And so for this deck, it's worth checking out the old shop and stocking up on some of the particularly jazzy attack and defense spells, that's the correct word, that accumulate in there. There are some really nice attack ones, like, really nice. I mean, I might be a little biased because, you know, I've spent a lot of time with this deck. I've spent a lot of time with the attack bits, but I personally prefer attack and willpower for my 2 favourite sources of spell, closely followed by defence, and then I'm genuinely just not really very keen on the green agility ones at all. But there are some glorious attack ones out there. So if we're lucky, something good will spin up. Some of the spells are deck exclusives as well, worth pointing out. You think escaping Finderhoven was a big deal? Then Meadows of Madness is where the nightmare begins. Yeah, so there are some particularly jazzy spells that are exclusive to certain decks, but all the spells that I'm using with this base deck, you can use on everything because they're all just generics, which is quite good. This one, see, yeah, now we've got that's a minor heal. We've got just a mend at the moment, so we could get this one and go to slightly more healing capability if we had more coins, which we don't, so we can't. And we could spend 10 to hold it and make sure it's there next round, but you know what, I'm sure something useful and healy will show up again. That is a risk I'm willing to take in order to save 10 coins. Right, and we are back to taking on this guy. There's much less build into it on the epic mode. Right, stop clicking the wrong things, me. That's not very smart, is it? See? That's rather cool, isn't it? I flip over a coin and boom! Axe comes out of nowhere. For no reason. Just because I spun up a queen. Because that's one of the magical pimp topics of this deck. Yeah. I don't know. I get very excited over this stuff. And see? King gives me armour. Magnificent. You can never have too much armour on. Genuinely, I picked this game up for free, I believe it was, during the Epic Games Christmas game giveaway extravaganza. That was magnificent. And thought nothing much of it. Oh my gosh, it keeps going. This is going to give me so many coins at the end of this level. And I've completely fallen in love with this game. Like, it's just so addictive. It's absolutely magical. Like, got a little bit of time, put this on, smash out a few rounds of solitaire. Not that I'm promoting playing games while you should be in lectures, but, you know, sit there in a lecture, don't load normal solitaire, no. Load jazzy solitaire. This is for the breaks, of course, because 10-minute breaks. But yeah, all kinds of suitable situations for this thing. It's just so peaceful, so relaxing. Like, it doesn't take that much brain power, or that much, you know, actual technical skill. Ooh. Finally, an occasion where that might have been useful, but it was not. It's very simple. I just click and click. I don't need to do anything jazzy, anything fancy. It's just peaceful. It's fun. One is just satisfied. And that's that, really. There's not much else to say about the reasons I love this game, other than it's great. But, you know, that right there is an example of how, when he's put his magical thingies on them, you can't get through it with magic. But we did. We finished. Never fear. We are through. Okay. I bet we got so many coins this time. Look at that, 120 from card streaks. So yeah, if you get a card streak of more than 8 cards, the amount of coins that you could earn from that level skyrockets. Oh my gosh. So yeah, now we're up here on 169. Almost enough to buy a Celestial Hourglass. Not that I will, but I would if I could. These things are so useful. Oh my gosh. So if you completely screw up a level, having a Celestial Hourglass allows you to just restart that level. You don't get any of the perks or anything that you would have done from beating that level, because obviously you don't beat it. But that ability really makes it a lot easier to, like, get through if you're trying to get to the end for, like, completing normal mode purposes or something like that. Oh my gosh, get yourself a Celestial Hourglass or two, especially when you reach, like, levels 12, 13, 14, that kind of region. Because it's just so much easier. What am I doing? Clicking the wrong buttons. I'm clicking the wrong buttons in my excitement over the Celestial Hourglass. The most magical of items. Yeah, it really does make the game so much easier. Like, I can't even express it. Flippy cards! Okay. Okay. Worth getting rid of those early when you can, because having them randomised constantly is just genuinely really irritating. Well, that was convenient. A 2, a 3. You gonna do something convenient for me again? We'll get rid of you. No. Worth a shot, worth a shot. I enjoy also how really cute these little guys are. Like, I know he's my enemy, but damn, you gotta admit this little critter is kind of adorable, right? Like, there he sits with his little 4 eyes and, oh, I don't know. He kind of reminds me of, like, if Pinky, as in Pinky and the Brain fame, went absolutely bonkers and had been, like, bitten by a mutant spider or something. Kind of like Spider-Man, but, like, more mutant, and more nuclear and less, you know, become a friendly neighbourhood superhero. I imagine this is what he would become. But what do I know? I just know that cards are getting dazzled and they're all flipping around and it's not very easy to beat them. Did you like that song? I don't know why it was a song. It just was. See? And that is one of the glorious things about this game. It's so peaceful that you can just sing along to your tunes. Okay. 5, 6, 5. Okay, well we got rid of a few. We're down to what? 7 cards left. More armour. Never too much armour. Okay, that's not too shabby. Well, at least let's just trash cards when we can. Particularly these bonkers, flippy, constantly ones. Randomizes every turn. What are they called? Dazzled. Dazzled. That's the one. Okay, now everything's dazzled. The world's just gone bonkers. It's really frustrating because it's like, now I have a queen. I could get rid of that jack, but I don't have a queen because I've already clicked the flip before it spins, if that makes sense. So it's all a bit riskier, isn't it? Risky, risky. We're close. We are very close. 1 card left. Are we going to make it? Place your bets now, ladies and gents. Do you believe in our chances? Did that help? Perked us up a little bit, didn't it? Boom! If you said we'd survive, you guessed correct. Victory! Not as impressive as the last victory, but still a victory nonetheless. And we are on to defeat Beard Hugbug. Okay. Ooh! Extra health, extra health. Yes, we like the extra health. And that heal spell's here again. Should we upgrade? I think so. Yeah, let's upgrade that. I mean, I could de-equip, unequip, get rid of this one. But since we've got these spare slots, is there any point? Yeah. That's quite nice. Damage column 2 times. Because that would also contribute if you've got some of those like bonkers ones with the ice and stuff on. Because you can get through it a bit more. Do we want to go for that? We've got the space. We've got the coins. Let's try it out. It'll keep us going for a few rounds at any rate, and then we can always exchange that out and upgrade to something else. That's one of the nice things. You're not stuck with your choices, you just spend— oh, dang it. It's pointing out I missed something. I got distracted. I'm so sorry. Let's destroy that card out of solidarity. Silly me. Right, okay. Concentrate me, concentrate. 10. 9. Okay, we concentrated. Oh, I don't like the thorny ones very much. They do make this a lot more difficult. Okay. Muchos thorns everywhere. Queen. See, this is going to take off damage. 10, 9. Okay. Let's, yeah. Should we test out this? This sounds fun. So, damage column 2 times. Does that mean we can take out 2 cards? It does! Look at that. Magical! That's quite fun, isn't it? 5, 4, 3, 4. Healy heal. I like that. Making some progress. That's much more cost effective, isn't it? Because if that could take out 2 cards for 4 magics, and that could only take out 1 card for 3 magics, then you're basically paying 2 magics a card for that one. So you might as well always save up and use that one. Maths. Or something vaguely approximating maths. Okay. Magical. Yeah, I do quite like that. Queen, king. Yeah. Progress, right, 7. We are getting a little low, but there's only 5 cards left, but those sorts of cards are really cheeky, those ones. 4, 3, 2... He's throwing out all the big guns, isn't he? At least now we can see what's on the table. I'm going to try and save up for that Healy one. 2... Oh gosh. So if he's going to do 4 damage to us, that's not going to leave us with very much at all. 7... Aha, there we go. Healy heal. 2 more to go. Come on, give us something useful. See, the thing is, we could sit here forever flicking, but every time we flick over a one of these, of course, it is giving us magic points, which is useful. So we are slowly working our way towards being able to take out that card, until he goes and does something like that, of course. But at least there is that kind of process working in the background for you, which does help. There you go, boom. Magical! Okay. Right, well, I think you've heard enough of my generalised chatter for the moment. So, let's leave it there for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. If you want to subscribe to the channel, or leave a like on the video, both would be magical. Thank you, and goodbye!